What's up, guys? Scotty2Hockey here, aka the Average Hockey Fan once again. And with Andrei Markov leaving the KHL after his 3-year run, a pretty successful run in the KHL, I must say, the 40-year-old D-man apparently wants to come back to North America and play in the NHL again. And of course, a lot of Montreal Canadiens fans would love to see him back on the Habs. Now, as for my take, I'll give it to you when I get to the end of the video, or at least halfway through the video after I'm done what I have written down about Markov. Markov was a mainstay Hab. He was a workhorse for us. He did excellent offensively, defensively, blocking shots, helping Carey Price, helping other young players on the blue line, and just overall in the 16 years he was in Montreal, I have nothing bad to say about his game at all. From day one, I liked the guy, I must say. So as for Andrei Markov, I had written down, in 2017, Montreal Canadiens general manager Marc Bergevin made some questionable moves, like letting Alexander Radulov walk, trading Sergachev for Drouin. But for me, the most questionable was not re-signing Markov. It's said to be due to term and how much Markov wanted, but in all honesty, the numbers I heard at the time sounded more than reasonable for a player who's been your workhorse on the blue line for over a decade. A guy who really brought out the best in other players and really brought out the best in himself in the playoffs. He helped with big series wins over teams like Ottawa, Washington, and Boston. He was a big help for clearing the net for Carey Price and blocking shots in games. After returning back to the KHL and having a successful run with his KHL club, the now 40-year-old blue liner is said to want to return to the NHL, and of course this has a lot of fans wondering, would he be a good fit in Montreal? For me personally, although I'm a big fan of Markov, I do not see it as a good fit. When you watch him play now, he's noticeably slower to the days in Montreal. Even to his last year in Montreal, he's noticeably slower to when he played in 2016, 2017. He looked pretty good. He wasn't fast by any means, but he is noticeably slower now. That's one thing that's really stuck out to me about his game. I watched a few KHL highlights of him, and I was almost like, is that Markov? He still has the shot. He still has the passing ability. Good hockey IQ. Seems to be a good leader on ice, but you watch him in the third period, man, it's like he got cement in his skates, and I don't know if that's something that's going to help the Habs by any means. And although he still has a good hockey IQ, decent offensive upside with accurate shot and passing ability, I just said that, but I had it written down. I think in a league where younger, faster players have dominated the game and defenders play a less physical, grinding game and do less behind the net, Markov could probably struggle adjusting to the changes. That's what I had written down for Markov. And that's not to mention we already have an aging, overpaid D-man who was supposed to replace Markov and Karl Alzner. But all Alzner has done is be a shell of the player he was in Washington and a shell of the player Markov was for Montreal, and hurt the team with his big cap hit, devaluing himself in the process to the point where he is now untradeable. So as for Andrei Markov, my take is I really liked what he did for Montreal. If Marc Bergevin had to re-sign him and he had to stop playing in the NHL at 40 and retire right now for Montreal, I would have been so happy with it, and I think it really would have helped our power play, really would have helped our blue line for sure, and he would have did a lot for the team. But at this point, bringing him back at 40 years old with the young core we got and the prospects we got, it makes no sense. Why would you take away a chance? To take away a chance from a young prospect, a young defensive prospect, or going out and signing somebody in the offseason to bring over a 40-year-old aging defenseman? I know it's Andrei Markov, I'm a fan of the guy, but I just don't see how it would help the team, myself personally, the average hockey fan. As for in Montreal, he does have some great career numbers, and he played almost 1,000 games for the Habs. I'm kind of sad Bergevin didn't re-sign him now that I know he was only 10 games away from hitting 1,000 in the regular season. In the regular season, in 990 games played, he had 119 goals, 453 assists, 572 points, was a plus 64, 396 hits, and he had 939 block shots. That's one thing I loved about Markov, was not afraid to put his body down and put his body on the line to help the team. I forget who it was, Mike Weaver. I think we had Mike Weaver one year. Him and Mike Weaver, they were blocking every shot that was put on net. I think that was the year Montreal went to the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston, if I'm not mistaken. And those guys really put their body on the line. Hal Gill, too, for the short time he was in Montreal, he blocked a lot of shots, too. That's one thing about the old Habs penalty kill and the old Habs team, the 2014 team, 2015, the better Habs teams, they blocked a lot of shots, and they weren't scared to put their body on the line. It's one thing I haven't noticed so much about this Habs team. And he played over 23 minutes per game throughout his whole career in Montreal, and he spent 16 years as a Hab. He was drafted in 1998 by the Montreal Canadiens in the 6th round at a steal at 162nd overall. As for his playoff careers, he always stepped up in the playoffs for the Habs, defensively, blocking shots, being smart on the ice, and just being a good on-ice leader. And I love his stoic way of play. He's not a hype player. He's a really stoic guy. In 89 games played, he has 5 goals, 27 assists, 32 points, was a -7 with 63 hits and 120 points. 89 games played and 120 block shots. Excuse me, I wrote down points on that one. That is not right, guys. He did not have 120 points. He had 32 points in his entire playoff career for Montreal. 120 block shots. That's what it was. I had the points in BS right next to each other. BS for block shots and points. Now, as for his KHL career in AK Bars Kazan, that was the name of his team, in 125 games played, he had 8 goals, 47 assists, 55 points, was a +23 with 27 hits and 103 block shots. And in 23 playoff games played for that club, he had 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points, and was a plus. His plus-minus was 0. And that club went to the KHL championship. If not this year, I believe it was last year. I can't remember if Markov won the title or not, but I remember seeing in a headline Markov was in the final with his KHL team, and I remember reading that article. So I'm sure he was in the KHL final, in the playoff final at one point. So as for Markov, like I say, my take is he's a bit too old, a bit too slow. He's not a fit the Habs need right now. I really, really do not like the fact that Marc Bergevin never kept him around. He didn't want a pile of money. He was a mainstay Hab. And what was Marc Bergevin's solution for it? Going out and getting Karl Alzner to replace him. Paying more money to Karl Alzner to bring Karl Alzner in. And we all seen how that worked out. So it was clearly one of... I know Bergie fixed a lot of his mistakes, but that's one he didn't fix. Alzner's still lingering around. And the fact he didn't sign Markov is still leaves a sad sore spot with the fans. It leaves a sore spot with me for sure. It kind of bothers me a lot that he didn't do that. I would have liked to see Andrei Markov get to officially retire in Montreal, play until he's 40, and in the last game of the season, or what's possibly the last game of the playoffs, have a big ceremony for him, honor him. That's what I would have liked to see him personally, but it doesn't happen. Sometimes that's just the way NHL careers end. Anyways, guys, this is Scotty 2 Hockey, aka The Average Hockey Fan. I'm sorry if this video was a bit rougher than usual. I am just getting over a flu. It's been a flu that's been on and off the past week, and it really hit me bad yesterday. That's why I didn't put out any content. So it was kind of brutal getting through this video. My throat is really rough and my throat is really scratchy, and I'm not feeling the best. So if it's a bit of a rougher take, I'm sorry about that, guys. But anyways, my other takes are great. So don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell for my upcoming videos, and if you haven't checked out my videos, go check out my other videos. I have some great content on this channel, and comment on what you think. Would you like to see Andrei Markov in Montreal? On a short-term deal, it probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but for me personally, I don't see it as a great fit. Scotty 2 Hockey, aka The Average Hockey Fan. Enjoy your day, folks. Over and out.